Test, test. Hello. 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 Is my mic coming through? What's up, Inspector Crusoe? It seems like it's working, but oh, there it goes. I just got a little delayed reaction there. Hello. Testing. Testing. Is that better sounding? Notice my mic audio for some reason isn't very great. On OBS, it's really good, but does that sound better like that? Got a different setting here. Looks like I'm getting more reaction from it. Good. Can't remember what all these mean. Hello, 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 hello. Let's try on this one, see what happens. All right, we're about to get started here momentarily. Sure, all my stuff is set up good. That we got plenty to talk about today. Been a wild 2 days here. Let's see here. I think we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. Got a bunch of stuff to do today, and it's already 10 o'clock almost. So let's pause this chill trader music. Get it in. All right, where are we at here? Oh, pop that chat box up so I can see that. All right, sweet. What is going on? It is Z Rex. No noise. We're live today. It is, what is today? The 22nd of 2023. It's a quarter till 10 in the AM. Hope y'all are having an awesome hump day. Welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time. Here we like to talk about crypto a lot and just anything tradable, really. Probably the least thing we do is Forex. I will look at Euro and Dixie and rates and stuff, but it's probably the least thing that we do. We do these streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. I'm still haven't hammered down the time. I am going to hammer down the time soon. That I'm kind of thinking around like the 9:30ish area is where I'm landing. So I'm still ironing that out, but kind of maybe tentatively speaking, we're going to go around. I think that's going to be my target time for the stream action. Anyway, let's get on with Z price action because we've got plenty to talk about today. Kind of a little bit nasty. Oh yeah, enjoy that coffee tea, baby. I'm doing the same. I'm a tea drinker, but green tea, that is. Let's see. I love that Japanese matcha tea. So good. Anyway, let's go back to price action because we got a lot to talk about today. So, look at Bitcoin. What the shit is this? It's not supposed to go down. What is this crap? It's only supposed to go up. That's what they told me when I got in crypto. It's not happening. I'm selling everything now. I'm super pissed. Anyway, sarcasm aside, we are getting some data. This not even being able to make higher wicks on these candles is just kind of lame sauce. And now we're just getting a rejection here of the 24,000 handle. It hasn't completely broke down. We're still possibly maybe just retesting this little cluster right here at around 23K, give or take like $500. I imagine, we're just getting a little sell pressure from the majors. And whenever I say majors, I'm mentioning or I'm referencing the ES, NASDAQ, Dow, and the Russell 2000. So just the major market, the major four. So we're getting a little pressure on those. Those have pulled back quite a bit this week. And so we finally got some follow through today on hump day with Bitcoin. Now, is it super terrible? No, not yet. It is a little bit disappointing, though, by the bulls that camping above for about 5 days, above 24,000, they couldn't even wick higher than this initial candle right here in this initial wick of getting over it, which is the one that looked good for a second. And then, we talked about this on the stream last Friday. It's just kind of nasty rejection for the Bulls. And now we're kind of just coming right back to them. And like I said on Monday's stream, we start losing 23,000 on this, I would start to really be concerned about any bullish momentum. We haven't got there yet. It's still well above 23K, well, $700. But so we're kind of just selling off with the equities. If NASDAQ and the majors don't kind of kick up here and keep pushing down, which we'll get to here in a second. We'll go look at those guys. We like to run through the crypto list first. And we'll probably get to them pretty fast because there's not going to be a whole lot to look at probably on the crypto front. Everything's probably just coming back, testing this. And again, Mama Bear, a.k.a. Bitcoin, is the most important of the cryptos. Let's see. Yeah, man, look at this. Here's the weekly. And like I said too on Monday, until we really get a weekly open and close above 24K, I can't get like a full bull boner until that happens. We got a few days and that looks good and all, but just a few daily candles is not enough to change the macro trend, especially when the macro trend has been clearly down for, well over a year now. We did have the best thing for the bulls getting back above the 21 EMA, which is this yellow line right here. That is a really good macro, easy, just plebe way to look at Bitcoin trend. And it works very well over history. You can put it on a chart and check it out. We've gone through that a few times here. But it's easy. Just put a 21 EMA and look at a weekly. And you can kind of tell if it's above it, it's good. If it's below it, be careful. Anyway, though, we are above it here. And it has been over a month now, so that's cool. We're just not getting any follow-through. So that is uncool. And you can see the 200, the 55, and the Mama. The Mama moving average is this purple one. That is Mama's, the mother of all moving averages. That is a free indicator you can get. Mine's tweaked a little bit. My audio's cutting in and out. Oh, no. That sucks. What the H, man? It says I have quite a few. I have good kilobytes. I'm not sure. It is kind of swinging around a lot, so let me know. Let me know if it gets better here. I'm kind of watching my kilobytes. Let me know if it kind of stabilizes a little bit. It seems to have stabilized. It is kind of swinging around, though. You are correct. Appreciate the info, Inspector Crusoe. That sucks. Come on. I pay a lot of money for this internet. For this gig. Well, in quotes, gig service. Yeah, okay. Sure it is. Sure it's a gig. I've never seen anyone measure it and that actually be a gig, though, on mine or any of my friends. All right, let's see. Hey, do I have too many things open? Man, you know what I might do here? Hold on. Let me close out my broker. Those broker platforms use a lot of data, so maybe it's just hogging it. I'm going to close that out real quick. Usually I can run both together, but maybe not today. I don't know. Maybe Spectrum is acting up. All right, it looks to be maybe a little bit better. All right, let's see. Oh, man, yeah, you're right. There it is. It's just swinging all the way down to sub 1,000. Now it's back up to 4,000 KBs. Man, yeah, what the hell's going on? Come on, man. Don't be doing me like that. All right, let me close out some other windows here. Usually that should not be a problem, but apparently today it is. Okay, now I've got 60,000 KBs. Okay, and now it's 600. Dude, yeah, this thing is moving all over the place. Hold up real quick. Let me close some stuff here. Close that, close that. Do I got anything crazy open on my... There it gets out of Telegram. Oh, yeah, Steam might be hogging it. Get out of there, Steam. Why are you even open right now? It's not game time. It's chart time. All right. Let's see. Man, yeah, crap. Is it any better, Inspector, if you're still in here? It does look like some people left because it probably was sucking ass. Well, I'm just going to keep pushing through. Hopefully it stabilizes a little bit. I closed a bunch of windows and stuff, so hopefully. Man, I wish they would, TradingView would keep the kilobytes a second meter up so I could see that. I need to switch over to OBS and do this via OBS. It's a little bit more better. Anyway, got a little distracted here. Let's get back to some charts. Hopefully that is better now. But yeah, above 23K, the same thing still stands as Monday's show. We haven't got any real new data except that the bulls are kind of sucking wind right here, not getting any follow through. So as long as we're above 23,000, I'm still cautiously bullish. Sub there, I start to question the bulls' momentum like hardcore. Let's go to Bitcoin futures. Let's see what they're posing to look like. Same thing under the Mama 200, almost just like spot price. So nothing, no edge there. The one thing that can give us a little bit of edge and has in the past is GBDC. And, to be fair, it did do a engulfing candle from a couple weeks ago. So that actually looks pretty decent. I like this above about 1125. If it starts getting below 1125, again, that's like Bitcoin's 23K. I'd really start to be concerned on that one. Let's go to BitO. Yeah, BitO is pretty much in the same thing. Let's go to Unicorn Shirt Man. What is he talking about? Yeah, it never even really made a good new high. It's right up under the trend line. Let's see, weekly posturing is the same, except it hasn't even broke its trend line. So it actually looks worse than Bitcoin because Bitcoin's at least above its trend line, and it's below the 55, the Mama, and the trend line. So it's, the struggle is real for the bulls. And to be fair, it's difficult to come out of a firm bear market that we've been in over a year. So, it takes a lot of work for them to do. That's why one candle doesn't make a trend change. Everybody was getting super uber bullish. We're going to $1 million by the end of the year. Back in the beginning of January, it was like that in equities too. So let's see. It looks like my kilobytes are still freaking bouncing around, man. God damn it. This is BS. Come on, Spectrum. You'd think with $140 or whatever it is I pay them a month, I should have some damn good service. Bastards. They got a monopoly too, so who else do you go to? Anyway, staying above about 1580 is Bitcoin's equivalent of 23K. And we are kind of breaching the 21 EMA, which we're not doing on Bitcoin yet, which is at about 23.3. Unicorn Shirt Man is kind of breaching that, but until it really gets back below 1580, I can't give bears a lot of momentum or anything. But yeah, kind of just weak sauce. You can even see on DMI, look at this. It never even got into the power zone, which is above 26. So that is not bueno. I didn't notice that. Is Bitcoin's like that too? No, Bitcoin's is actually above 26, but yeah, Ethereum, huh? Weird. All right, Ethereum. Come on, Vitalik. Lift some weights. Get pumped up, bro. This is not good enough. All right, futures kind of in the same place. Litecoin, man, Litecoin's actually attempting to break the trend line, which Litecoin was rallying first before a lot of these back in the fall. And now it's attempting to break the trend line, and it's already lost to 21. Last line in the sand right here is about $90 flat. So this is either going to be a really good buy right here and come out of this and probably break out. Like if it rallies from here, I would be expecting the breakout of this 102, 103 area. But man, if it loses $90, this is going to start looking pretty nasty. Interesting. ETC dumping back into the this freaking trap, this little gambit it just cannot get out of. Range mode 3000. I mean, back in the middle of it, there's nothing to do there. Yeah, XRP, man, it's just super trapped right around the upper 30s. I mean, until it gets above 40 cents or back below like 38 cents, it's range bound. Nothing really too crazy there. XLM selling off. Went and tapped the 200. Shooting Star Doji getting follow through. Man, we're kind of getting a little bit of nasty buildup here. Let's go to the weekly on Tron. Yeah, Tron's just kind of, we got him engulfing the last 3 days. So this is starting to be a little bit more, I wouldn't say bearish, but the momentum for the bulls is gone until it regains 7 cents on that one. Let's see. Dot. Maybe hopefully it's just retesting here for the bulls at about 669 and going back. But I mean, really, we can just watch. A lot of these have already pumped hard, so just watching Bitcoin and Ethereum is probably good enough. And then also, I think Nasdaq, because Bitcoin and crypto is kind of like a tech stock and is a little bit rate sensitive. So watching Nasdaq along with Bitcoin and Ethereum is probably going to give you the general, flavor of the crypto market here. And of course, there's always outliers. Let's see. I don't like Jim Cramer, but one of the things he does say that is true is there's always a bull market somewhere. Almost everything else he says, though, is pretty much BS. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, just kind of little sell pressure. Was this a fake out? I mean, you do have a lot of bearish divergence on a lot of these charts. So, this is a critical test now for bulls. If they can't defend some of these sell-offs here and we start breaking these higher lows we put in about a week ago, around Valentine's Day, there ain't going to be no love there. Let's see. Man, look at this link right up to the top of our little blue box of something. I can't think. I'm lost of words right now. Blue box of trappiness. It couldn't even get out and make an attempt to get above there. Just double doji, follow through. Now we're back in almost the middle of the range. Maybe you could argue this is just a retest of this little cluster, but anything back below about $7, man, not really sexy. It's got to get out of that blue box too. We're kind of seeing just the same flavor on most of these, coming back to test the late January clusters. Same here too on Bitcoin Cash. Shooting Star getting rejection, not super sexy. BSV, man, BSV actually made an attempt all the way to the 200 at about 47, just shy of, but immediate rejection. Not a surprise. BSV doesn't really get a whole lot of love. No one really likes Craig Wright. He's the new Roger Ver, if you will. XMR just hanging out here in the critical area in the mid 150s. Anything below like 154, 155. I mean, I guess you could go to the 200 at 151-ish and change, but I mean, it's starting to look a little bit heavy, guys. I don't know. It's just, excuse me. It's just, with Bitcoin selling off and majors selling off, it's not going to be conducive for bulls and follow through. And when you try for 5-6 days in a row to punch through, and if bulls had any momentum or any strength really behind them, I feel like they should have been able to at least try like close to 26 or something, but pretty lackluster performance there. Let's go ZEC, rejection at the 200. At best, we're just kind of retesting this little cluster, the middle of the cluster. Below 45, it starts to look pretty nasty. Dash is kind of just dribbling lower. Look at this. Lower highs, lower lows on the daily. So, I mean, as long as it's above the trend line, it's okay. But come on, bulls. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing with your lives? Man, getting rejection on Doge. 8 cents, man, below 8 cents. That opens up the doors pretty much anywhere between like 6.5 and 7.5 pennies there. Really needs to get back above 9 pennies to reignite the bulls on that. Selling even on Hex Coin. It's still above the freaking trend line somehow. I imagine though, when this trend line breaks, and we're going to get some pretty nasty price action. Because this thing just be moving. I mean, look at this. One day 43, one day down 27 almost. I mean, it's just ping-ponging like a mofo. So I would expect whenever this does break to come down and probably test around 4.2 pennies, like somewhere in the low 4 cents. More rejection here. That 200 daily is providing a little bit of overhead resistance. Not on everything, but on some things. Man, look at this. V-chain just dumping already from this. What is it, down 10%? I think that was right up against the mama. Yep, right against the mama. Kind of just getting a lot of sell pressure. They tried to hold on yesterday, but we really need some NASDAQ to hold 12K, which we're about to get to because I think that's really important for crypto too. Broke the trend line here. Attempted retest. That looks probably around the 618. Let's go and measure it real quick. Fibonacci. Yeah, around the 618. Tapped the 786. Now we're getting continuation. So, below like 14 bucks. Not super pretty. Not super pretty. Osmos kind of just rolling over. This is just super flat, man. It really hasn't done shit since the pump in January. Telegram's coin just kind of chilling. It's actually making dribbling slowly higher. So that is a little bit different than the other market coins, the other coins in the market. Wait, which way is that? I don't know. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I kind of do like this one above 230. All right, ES. Dump fest, man. Oh man, like we mentioned too on the videos before, whenever ES breaches the 21, it almost always goes and tests the 55 at least. And to be fair, we have cut the 55 and the 21 with one candle yesterday. This is actually pretty nasty. Let's go to the weekly because I think it is sitting right on the mama and this flat part of the mama and this 21 EMA. So this is kind of the line in the sand. Anything back below 39.80, it's going to start to get a little fugly. And conversely to the upside, that 40.80 area is super important. Let's see. In Q, kind of coming down to retest maybe this breakout zone. Maybe it's just a liquidation break. Maybe. We haven't even got to the 21 yet. So, yeah, it's possible just liquidation break. We'll see. I think this week will give us a nice clue, a raging clue. We are trying to doji right here on Dow. The one thing that we did have a lot of consolidation here, and we do have a giant nasty candle here yesterday. So, and we finally got out of this range. You can see my horizontals at 33.5 and about 34.2. And so now support has been broken technically, and this is a little bit more bearish below this 33.5 area on Dow. So now we're in between this little second sandwich area between 32.8 and 33.5. Rut, looks like we're trying to bounce off some of these lows. The market is in super whipsaw mode. If y'all haven't noticed, it just be going up, down, 2-3% like every day. It's crazy. This is actually a decent candle. Let's see. It does close in an hour. Let's zoom in on this. Yeah, I mean, look, here we go. The up, down market. I mean, it is pretty brutal and mean to people. Sitting, I mean, 1900 on the Russell is actually a really good support zone. And, maybe this is just a liquidation break to retest the breakout zone of 1900. This is a nice, firm, official test of that. You are late. Yeah, you mother effer. Just missed NQ. Well, I'm kind of bouncing around the majors a little bit. I've been a little bit bouncy today in general anyway. And my audio was cutting out, so that kind of sucked. There's actually a bunch of people in here earlier, and then the guy was like, dude, your audio sucks. And it has been Chop Fest 3000 with my kilobytes here. There it goes again, see? Damn you, Spectrum. Bouncy boy. So coming down, maybe we're just doing a little retest here. I think that's kind of the best case scenario. NQ's in the same boat too, by the way, because I do know you love NQ. This little, weekly showing major support at 12,000. We've mentioned that number a bunch of times on the stream. So, you can see it almost went to it almost to the T. Let's see what this low is. Yeah, 12,034, and then had an immediate bounce off of there so far, right here. Badow. Will it get continuation? Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. This market just is ping pong. mode. So um, I wouldn't be surprised if we rally up again all the way up to maybe like 12.3, 12.4, and then kind of see what happens there. Let's see the Dow. The Dow's probably the worst looking one because it actually finally did break out of this range. So it has resistance now at 33.5. And ES is kind of just coming. It's still above its trend line, so that's good. And it's just kind of coming to test the 21 and the Mama average over here. 39.80, man, is the spot to look for on this. So you don't want it to start getting too low. Like 3,900, if you're longer term, is probably like the line in the sand. Sub 3,900, and this starts to break all this structure. But right now we're kind of just coming up, and I think 30. If bulls are really strong here, they should be able to defend this upper 3,900 area. And to regain momentum, they really need to get back above that 40.80 area, which we've mentioned many, many times on the show. Let's see. It sounds fine to you. Yeah, well, that's good. I just know my kilobytes, man, are just bouncing. They're like 400, 200, 40,000, 4,000. They're just all over the place. So the rut's also trying to stabilize here. A little bit hard. I did take a little bit of a long around here, around 1900. So took a little bit of heat this morning. I was driving my kid to school and got the alert for this pump and didn't take it off because I'm just looking for quick scalps on this because it's just so volatile. I've kind of flipped to not really swing trading too much because this market's just like ping pong fest 3000, man. And I just really want to see a little bit more momentum on the bull side, like sustained. And we don't really have that on any of the oscillators or nothing yet. So we're like almost there. As I've been saying for a while, it's like almost bullish, like full bullish, full erect bull boner, green candles all the way through. But we're just not quite there. Not quite. That's why I keep saying cautiously bullish. Dow looks, man, this could just be the retest, man. Interesting. Okay. So I'm kind of liking the long. I might use this to buy some crypto actually and some equities here on this dip. I'm going to see how the day closes. If it can kind of close and not get any more follow through, I think that would be good. You know, we still got quite a bit of time, about 5 hours. So we'll just kind of see what's up there. And see, DAX isn't falling apart yet. It actually bounced already real hard off this low on, and I think their market closes at 10 official time. But so you already see it bouncing right back above the 21. So maybe that's a decent sign. Let's look at the 3 hour. Yeah, I like this candle right here. This response is really good. So it looks okay above like 15.3. And the DAX shares a lot of companies and stuff that the majors do over here. So I actually knew this guy that traded the DAX and used it for momentum strategies for a while. I haven't retested that in a long time. This was years ago, but he killed it just using DAX overnight session to gauge momentum for the U.S. market. That's like all he traded. He was a monster. VIX still chilling above 22. As long as it's above 22, I have to give the Bears slight advantage. As soon as this dips back below 22, though, man, the excuse me, the Bulls will probably start raping with their horns, throwing everybody up in the VVIX kind of just chilling right here in the low 90s. Nothing really new there for data. Obviously, this is yesterday's candle. This is updated at the end of the day. That's what this little E denotes. So we won't see that. You can kind of just look at the VIX. It's for intraday action. You do have major pressure here, but as long as it's above 22, it looks okay. Oil, ooh, ouch, oil. We are just getting a little bit of nasty selling. This Bears have momentum on this below $77. And man, if they lose this local low right here at 73 and change, man, that's going to be nasty for oil. Let's look at the weekly. Look at this clustering, man. Up, down, up, down, up, down. If it loses, yeah, that 73-ish handle, we can probably look for 69. Hell yeah. So we can probably look for 69. And really, until it's back above 77, this is a little bit nasty of a chart. Let's look at the nastiest of energy charts. Nat gas. Yeah, people talk about reversion to mean a lot, and it's like, well, what about this? Almost 70% down in less, or let's just call it about 2 months. There has been zero reversion to mean. The 21 EMA is probably a decent mean reversion type area or EMA. But dude, it hasn't even come close to touching it. Like almost on this sideways action, which it kind of looked good. I mean, for basing possibly, but then it just got immediate follow through and continuation. Now, one thing we do have right now, this is interesting. Let's zoom in. Right on this trend line too. Hold up. Right on the nasty trend line after it broke it, retested it. Okay, so this is a little interesting for Nat Gas. This could be a hammer candle. If we close like this, if Nat Gas closes above 210, we'll have a hammer on this structure. And that might be the best looking candle that we've seen in all of the last 2 months on Nat Gas, because this is just an absolute rape fest here. This is brutal price action. If you have Nat Gas in your house, though, you're pretty happy because it's, half off. So that's cool. Wish propane would go down a little bit, but it's been staying bid. But possibly a nice hammer candle. We do have good volume on it too. So this could be the whoosh, possibly bottom candle. If this, like I said, if this closes up above 210 today, that would actually look pretty damn good for a bottom. So, but wow, it went all the way to 190. Just absolute brutal. I mean, it even came down and tested this cluster over here. And you can't, since it switched, hold up. Let's go to spot price. Pepperstone. Yeah, we just tested this little cluster. And let's look at the cheat code volume profile. Yeah, we're in the depths here. So, yeah, this level here, like, it's a little different. It's about $2 on spot price, and it's about 190-ish on futures. So we're getting into the really dangerous zone. You can see most of this business was done around 260. So at some point, Nat Gas, I will expect it to probably run to like $2.50 at some point. This could be the spot that it does it, though. This is interesting. I'll be watching this for possible long entry if we get this week to kind of close up nice and with this candle hammering out today, which, again, we still got like 4 hours. So, all right, well, I've got bonds starting to rally a little bit because they've been breaking down like a mofo. So this is what's putting pressure on equities for sure. Rates, as we talked about before, when it breaks 370, watch out for the downside. I actually made a bunch of pictures. Oh, man. I'm going to have to make a post of that on my ideas page. I'll just do that after the stream because it's like 10 pictures, and I don't want to pull all that up right now and show y'all. But it's from vol flashes up here on historical volatility in TNX. Again, this is directionless indicator. But it's just saying that big moves are coming. And we did almost had one print yesterday. I was watching. You can see if we click on it how low this is. But it ended up not printing the red shaded pattern, which is like almost zero volatility. So I'll share that because I think it's pretty interesting. It's at major pivot points on the SPX. So just getting a little bit of stalling here. Let's see. Dixie looks like it's getting ready to come up here and test 105 and change, maybe 106. Above 103.70. This actually looks pretty strong. So Euro is going to be the opposite of that. Let's look at gold. Yeah, gold. What the hell? Let's look at the weekly. Hey, maybe it's just retesting the 21 in kind of the middle of all this cluster zone. This clusterfuck, but and you got some tops here. I mean, there's a lot of business right here. So above this 1830 area, it looks okay. Really need to get back above 1890 to reignite the bulls Momo. Silver is okay. So silver did actually close the hammer candle on Monday stream, which we were kind of mentioning. If that closed out, that would look pretty decent. So above like 2150, silver looks pretty good for a bounce trade here. But ultimately, it does need to get back above 2250 and get above this trend line. You can see this little stall action before. Excuse me, this little stalling pressure before it rolled over at the trend line cross. But above 2250, I would expect a break of this trend line if we do see that. And this hammer candle on the 200 and against all this business looking left does look pretty good. I do like that. And it's kind of staying bid when the market's been selling off, so that's also kind of cool. Platinum coming up to test its 950 area. I did buy some platinum around here, so we'll see if that works out for me. I do kind of like this little cup in the mama. This happens a lot. Those are generally some really good buy opportunities. You can see here's a little cup over here on that spot. It works to the other sides too, like a little cap instead of a cup, like this one right here. When it gets up into there is resistance, but just around this kind of area, around the mid 900s is decent. It did get all the way to 920-ish, but bulls with this nice candle here with some follow through, it is getting resistance pressure around that 950 horizontal. But let's look at the weekly. If it engulfs like this on the weekly, I will like this a lot more. And you can see looking left, look at all this base over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20. I mean, there's a bunch of weeklies. Got this W pattern in here too, which this was the measured move from here. Now we're just retesting there to see if bulls actually have this. And if this closes above about 950, I do like this as an engulfing for continuation. So not too bad. Palladium is absolute in the trash. There's nothing new about that chart. GDX, same thing. Kind of just rejection. Maybe it's retesting this little cluster breakout, kind of where this gap was. Sub $27 though. It looks pretty nasty. All right, I think that's it for that. You want to look at anything else? Let me know if you want to look at any tickers. I'm going to be signing off here shortly. Let's look at ETF stuff, or not. It's a index, not an ETF. It's just a little Bitcoin miner index that I made. You can make one yourself too. The same thing. That's just up here. You just put a plus sign in between, and it'll add them all up. I just use this to kind of gauge momentum, and I know there's other ones too, but I just use these because they give me the most data. If you start putting in all of them, you only get, like a year's worth of data. And that's not very helpful. So just like GDX is good for confluence with precious metals, I kind of view it the same with this little index here. So maybe we're just kind of retesting the 21 and around this trend line. We are potentially going to breach it today. But again, one candle doesn't make the trend, and it is right above the 21. So this should be a good week for some. What the hell? This should be a good week for. Sorry, I was looking at my other screen. Should be a good week for some information. If we're going to possibly get some follow through with some other shit. What the hell? 89%? What is this? What? That doesn't look like 89%. What's going on? XY Labs. This, man, what does this do? This is with T0 and some other stuff, but you only can trade it on their like exclusive stock exchange. Same with T0, which is actually rallying today too. I've yet to put some money over there. I probably should, just because I think when crypto runs, T0 and XY Labs is going to probably moon pretty hard. It's part of Overstock and some other shit with that. Oh, man, earnings on Overstock was actually today. Hey, look, they only missed by 294%. Not bad. Not bad. I'm surprised it's not rallying. A lot of shit's been missing in earnings season, and it just doesn't matter. It just rallies anyway. It's like, whatever. What's Core's doing? Oh, this is kind of interesting on cores. This is a really big miner out of Dallas, Texas. This is a little pennant right here. You do have a little pennant action. Badoop, badoop, like that. So it's a little bit of a sloppy one, but as long as it stays above like 27 pennies, it actually looks okay. Maybe I'll ratchet that up to like 30 pennies. Yeah, I'm ratcheting that up to like 30. As long as it's up to about above 30, it's all right. Really needs to hit above 38 cents. And we see that. I'd look for a test at least of 50 and maybe beyond. Maybe it'll fill this gap up here at all the way at about 90 pennies. That would be a hell of a move on cores. All right, I'm not seeing any tickers to go look at. So again, put those out if you want me to go look at something, because I'll be signing off here shortly. Just kind of fanning through some stuff. A lot of pressure. Let's go look at FinViz real fast. Fin3. And I also need to pull a tab over here to look at something. There is some auctions today that I need to keep an eye on. Most of them are late, though. Yeah, okay. I like to just kind of keep an eye on the markets, you know. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Very mixed bag on the heat map. This is what I mostly like to look at on FinViz. Is the heat map. Yeah, it's just kind of all over the place. Amazon's the biggest winner. Oh, some agriculture stuff. Go away, you stupid ad. A little technology action, but very, very mixed bag. Yeah, pretty much across the board. It's like Christmas out there. Oh, and everyone's bearish right now. Let's say bullish. We'll just go the opposite of everybody. All right. Close that out. Come on. There you go. See what weed stonks are doing. See if they got any Momo going. I traded them on some videos ago. Actually, did that pretty much live on the stream, but I took them all off on this rally over here just because this whipsaw market, man. I'm just I like to swing trade more usually, but then this whipsawiness, it's just I found it better to just kind of take your profits, and you're usually able to reposition like pretty quickly, like within the month or something. So why not, man? Don't get greedy. That shit will get you. The green organic Dutchman. Yeah, okay. It's just kind of chilling. What's ACB doing? That's a big one. Poor weed stocks. They can just never get going. Until the Fed says that it's not like deschedules it, or they do something else with the Safe Banking Act and let people bank with weed companies at the major institutions. It's just going to be, the headwinds are strong, man. And that's very evident by this chart. I mean, look at this. Since March of 21, this bitch is just selling off 84% with almost no update, like up weeks. Really, this is a weekly. So you had a couple here, little pumps to the 21, and that's about all it can do. Pretty sad for the reefer. Man, that sucks. Eventually, these will be really good trades. Eventually. It's not quite yet. Let's go to, what was it? Schwab? No, it's Interactive that's been breaking out. Oh, so Interactive, for some reason, went into blue sky breakout mode. It's at all-time highs. How many times you get to say that right now? At all-time highs. We are getting a vol flash up here on a little bit of a rounded top with no follow-through. So this might be ready for a little liquidation break down to the lower 80s. It looks like it wants to do. Let's see. Yeah, that's about what I'd look for. A little vol flash here. So it does get some vol flashes going on this, but only about once or so a year you see them. So again, that's directionless, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a little retest of the low 80s maybe before continuation. Got a dividend coming up too at the end of the month. Last day of the month. All right, let's see. I think that's probably it. I don't see any tickers, so I'm just gonna do a little wrap up, rapidy rapskis. Let's look at the meme stocks. Yeah, whatever. Oh man, dude, BlackBerry's all the way back down to 3 handle. AMC's rallying. How about IPO? No, nothing really in there. Yeah, that's about it. How about auto stores? Kind of getting a little bit of selling pressure there too. Advanced auto part, man. How come no one likes advanced auto parts? Look at this. Out of the 3 main ones, Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly's, and AutoZone, which everyone pretty much knows about, total shit show here, down 40%. But O'Reilly's is at all-time highs, and so is AutoZone. That's weird because I actually prefer Advanced Auto Parts over all 3 of those. But what that market doesn't give a shit what I care about. Let's go look at Compass real quick. Psilocybin, yeah, same with kind of the weed thing. They're going to be in the same boat until there's some rescheduling or whatever. Although I don't even think mushrooms Schedule 1. I don't even think that they are, which is kind of funny. Man, look at truffles, dude. This thing has doubled in the last month. This is one of the bigger companies too. Man, above 12 and a half pennies, dude. This thing could run seriously hard. Yeah, I mean, all the way up to like 20 cents is kind of the next resistance point. Interesting. Interesting. Compass is a bigger one. Truffles, and then I think Mind Medicine is one of the other big ones. Mind Medicine actually looks pretty damn good above 360. Looks like it might want to fill this gap all the way at, wow, 560? Holy shit. Man, that's maybe a little ambitious, but man, if it keeps staying above 360, that looks pretty damn good, actually. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Yeah, that's about it. What's Solar doing? I haven't looked at Solar in a while. In phase finally gave in. First Solar, look at that. First Solar is holding up on its 161 area. That was the horizontal zone from this pump back in 08. That's kind of interesting. It actually looks okay above like 150. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Does have earnings coming up next week, so probably a little volatility coming in for that. All right, let's do the wrap up. Rippity wraps. Bitcoin. Bulls, you got to just hope this is a liquidation break. Bears, you're getting a little bit excited that we're back below 24K. You can make a good argument that sub 24K, any time longer the time built below that, the higher the momentum they're going to get. But for the Bulls, hopefully it's just a little liquidation break to the 23 handle before continuation. Let's see the weekly. Yeah. The weekly is just showing all that resistance all stacked right there. Let's see what the 15-day does, or you can use a 2-week as well. If you didn't know, I haven't talked about this actually a lot. The 2-week is actually a really good macro long-term positioning for Bitcoin specifically. And so for the 2-week, the open and close above 24,000, specifically 24.5, technically speaking, an open and close on 24.5 would really put the bulls into momentum. If you're somebody that doesn't want to watch crypto and day trade or intra-week trade and all that crap, that's the time frame I would use is like a 2-week. And you can see, like going back in time too, that when it kind of pumps and gets above, previous price structures and clusters, like it did kind of here, and it gets the momentum going, you can see, yeah, it did retest into them, but hey, there are liquidation breaks. Don't mind the black swan event. But even then, when it gets back above all these clusters, you can see it does like to run really hard. Same thing back over here on this selling when it got above all this business and stabilized. And then definitely on this candle right here, because 2 weeks, that's a good amount of time. We like to look for multiple weekly candles, open and closing above supports and resistance for continuation. And you can why not just do a 2-week candle, and then it's already just built in for you. So that's just a little thing if you just don't want to look at charts all the time, which I totally get. So Bitcoin, hopefully liquidation break for bulls. Start getting below 23,000 though. Uh-oh. Don't be doing that, bulls. That's not sexy. Let's see how GBDC closes this week. I'm real curious to see if it can hold this like 1130 area. We did have the engulfing one yesterday, but what are bulls supposed to do? Make the market go up, right? Sometimes it's that simple. What are they not doing? They're not making the market go up. So you kind of have to question their strength right now. And we're not even above the trend line on Ethereum, kind of in the same boat. So what the hell? Get your shit together, bulls. Let's go. Or bears, whatever. You can go down too. You can make money both ways, or you can position yourself. Have a better opportunity as well, too, right? Some people don't like to go short, so that's the only reason I mentioned that. But yeah, so we just got a little bit of pressure. Bulls, man, you're supposed to be making price go up. Y'all have had plenty of time to do it, and they're just not really following through. All we got to do is get above 25K, man, and this thing will probably run to like almost 30,000 and maybe even a little bit higher. Bitcoin likes to get crazy when it finally does break major areas. A lot of times it'll just overshoot it and then come back in. So we get over 25. I would not be surprised to see him in low 30s on a little wick on a daily or something. But we're getting ahead of ourselves there with Hopium. We're not quite there yet because the bull's struggle is real right now. Same with equities. We're just kind of seeing a little bit of struggling. We are kind of trying to stabilize a little bit right here on structure, looking left. So, maybe this is also the equivalent liquidation break that crypto is showing us. So, just kind of see how this week plays out. We got good setups, I think, for coming up here soon. Because if this is liquidation break, man, the positioning could be very nice right here. The only thing that does suck in majors is the worst part, I think, is this daily actually breaking all this range. Again, what are bulls supposed to do? If they have the momentum, they should be making price go up, and they are not. It's like what would Jesus do? WWJD. It's like WWBD. What would bulls do, or what would bears do? You can kind of think of it simply like that. They should be making price go up, and if they're not, that's not bueno. You might need to change your narrative. And in this market, in this regime right now, dude, you got to be able to switch quick because this market is very brutal. And as we talked about real quick, I'm just going to finish with this thought. This is many streams ago, but let's go to the monthly so we don't have to scroll back so far. Don't forget, markets don't always go up like everybody thinks. In times of high inflation, like where this happened, look at this chart. Up 75, down 22. And this is it's actually about every 2 to 3-ish years that this is occurring over a decade. Actually longer than a decade, about 15 years. Everyone's like, oh, you just buy long term. Well, sometimes that does work, and it generally does work. But sometimes we go into these lulls where it just ping pongs for a long time, which is called a megaphone pattern. That's what this is. And so, you're talking up 20, up 50, up 80, down 50. This is brutal on your psyche, man. Because you never know when you might need that money, or maybe you're coming up on retirement. What if it lands here when you come up on retirement? What if it lands here? Then you get lucky. But sometimes markets just don't go up. This was about 12 to 15 years of pretty much sideways, you could call it. And that does happen sometimes, man. And it happened back over here after the crash from the Great Depression. It went sideways for almost 20 years, man. So, if you look only in this really short window of time, yeah, the markets go up. Kind of when everybody started getting into trading after the GFC over here, then yeah, if you just look at that small window, then of course it's only gone up. But this is like not even 15 years of time, or barely 15 years of time. So, you can't just isolate and curve fit that kind of shit. And even here too, you can see this. Look at this, from the 2000 bubble all the way into 2012, it pretty much was flat. I mean, you were up, down, up, way more down, up. I mean, it took you. I mean, if you bought in the last couple years of the .com bubble, it took you almost 10 years just to break even. And then you got slapped again. I mean, think about that for a second. Isn't that wild? I don't think people talk about that enough. So I think just buying and holding and forgetting stuff can be very, very dangerous because depending where you bought and held from, that's the critical point. It's not like the time frame. It's more of like where you positioned in. So, and off of this structure, oh, you're probably wondering what this purple line is. I just took a fractal from that 60s inflation thing. I kind of noticed a little bit of similarities years ago, and so I just left this on the chart. I don't know. Fractals aren't really, you can't really trade them. They're interesting, more of an ego thing, I feel like, than anything else. But yeah, if it did follow this fractal, though, it does say we make a new low or a huge low on the monthly, which is funny about in 2024, which is kind of hilarious because that's like right before the elections. So I don't know. It's kind of wild. We'll see what happens there. All right. I think that's it. I've said enough. Much love, guys. Happy hump day. I hope you'll have a awesome rest of your day. We'll see y'all guys at the end of the week on Friday morning. And until then, much love. Peace.